Hey guys, I just wanted to create a really quick tutorial about first-person controllers. Since in my last tutorial I didn't really go over any of that, I just showed you how to implement it. But we are going to go through and adjust some settings to further tweak our character how we want it. So I'll go over a couple of the preferences that you can change, and we can start out from there. And then in the next tutorials we'll be going over a lot more features that we can add in that I talked about previously. But for now, we're just going to start off with the basic character controller that we created. So if you didn't watch the last tutorial, all we did was we drug the third-person controller into the scene after importing it, and from here we can adjust all the different settings applied to this. So yeah. So for the character controller, you could actually, if you wanted to, change the height of the player itself or the size just through different settings. If we doubled that, the I don't know if this adjusts the trigger box or the actual collider itself. Um, I think you actually have to adjust the collider itself to do all those things, I believe. If you wanted the player to be a lot larger and such, I think you might be able to just adjust it like that if you wanted to. I don't know if it'd screw anything up though, because it might not keep track of that. But yeah, different stuff like slope limit. So if we're going up a slope like this, um, but let's say that you wanted the player to be able to walk up a really, really steep slope, you would set that higher. So if it was 90 degrees, they could walk up a 90-degree angle if they wanted to. Yeah, step offsets. I believe that's how high they can walk up like a step, I believe. Like a little tiny step like that. I was trying to tweak it and adjust it, but I couldn't really get it to achieve the effect I was looking for, so that might actually be something else. I haven't really messed around with that too much. Mouse look. So we have this different sensitivity. You could lock the angle, so if you just wanted your character to be able to rotate only halfway. So if you're doing a game where you're moving down a hallway and you don't want them to be able to turn around and look behind them, you could lock these different settings if you wanted to. Can control, I think that's just if you want to disable the control for your character. Maybe your character got knocked down or got trapped or something like that, and you wanted to disable the controller just for a brief second or however long you wanted to, you could change that setting during the gameplay. Fixed update, not too sure about that. There's update and fixed update. I think that's just so you can't adjust any of the settings during gameplay. So I don't know if we need to disable that or not for adjusting the speed during gameplay. I guess I'll find that out when I make the other tutorial, because I was going to include, if you press down the shift key, you'll be able to sprint a lot faster, and then it'll use up stamina, and once the stamina runs out you can't sprint until it fills back up a little bit and whatnot. Max forward speed, how fast your character can move forward. Sideways speed, so if you're going sideways, how fast the player can run going sideways. Backward speed, just walking backwards. Slope speed, I think this is when the character speeds up and slows down. As it speeds up and slows down, it slowly fades out. But I have the ground acceleration set really high because it slows down like when you run and you release the key, the character will keep moving forward for a couple seconds, and I didn't want that, so I set it up really high. I could probably crank it up even higher just to give it a better effect. And the same goes with the max air acceleration and whatnot. Gravity, just how fast the character falls. Oh, and there's fall speed there. It's kind of weird that they have both. I think this might be for jumping. So if you're jumping and falling, the speed, and I think fall speed is just when you fall off a ledge and fall straight down. I think those might be different. Then we have jumping, and you can enable or disable it. Base height, how high you can jump, and extra height. That might be for a double jump. Not too sure. These other settings, yeah, I'm not too sure about those either. But it seems like I only need to adjust base height to get what I want. Sliding. Yeah, these other controls I haven't really messed around with, but these are the basic controls if you want to adjust it. So maybe I'll research a little bit more and find out about the other controls in the future if we need to use that for the game. But for my game right now, those are pretty much all the settings that I have set up for my game, and it works well for me, so I'm not really complaining or looking for any other features to include. So before I was moving really slow, but now I can speed up, and it stops when I release right away. And so we'll go back in here, and like I said before, if I change this down to like 10 or something like that, and I run, it takes a while to speed up, and when I release, it takes a while to slow down. But I wanted a constant speed so my character can move really quickly. So because you have to kind of wait for it to slow down before you can start moving in a different direction, but I want my character to immediately be able to run, stop, go this way, go that way without much delay. There's a tiny bit of delay, but not too much. Can run up the slope. Seeing the character kind of gets stuck on there, so I have to figure out a way if there's another setting for step height. I remember there being a step height in another one of my scripts before, so it might have to be a little tweak to the character controller unless there is a built-in feature that I don't know about. But yeah, I ended up making a basic building here that I modeled out, and I'm going to be hollowing out the center, and this will be for a like a jump pad. So when you walk into the room, there's going to be designated areas with little jump pads that'll send you up, or little thruster pads that'll send you up to the next level. And yeah, we can program that in if you want to add that to your game. So yeah, in Halo, for some of the levels, when you step on one of those things, it sends you up to the next level and stuff like that. So I'm going to be implementing a lot of different features to this game that are related to FPS games, or what they have included. So hopefully we can get some cool, awesome weapons with different effects. Maybe send out like homing rockets, or have a weapon fire like 20 bullets at once. Get the weapon particle effect, so the smoke trail that follows the bullet. Try getting that implemented without actually programming a actual bullet, and we could just do that all through raycasting and particle effects and different stuff like that. Also probably be going over some simple tutorials how to create the particle effects for the sparks and the blood and whatnot, and I'll try figuring out some other stuff like splatter effects, so when you shoot an enemy it actually splatters onto the ground or surrounding areas. We might be able to use a no, that actually might not work. I'm trying to figure out a way that we don't have to just use a plane, how we can actually throw a decal onto any surface, but I don't believe that's really built into Unity besides just a flat plane from what I've seen. So yeah, I'll try figuring out those different mechanics and such, and I'll get more tutorials out about it.